The 7 biblical laws about women they don't want you to read. What if I told you your holy book contains laws that would put someone in prison today? Not symbolic, not taken out of context, not misunderstood. I'm talking word for word laws that modern courts would call assault, trafficking, abuse, even sexual slavery. And they're still being defended as divine. Stay with me, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. And before we go further, subscribe right now, because this is the kind of truth most platforms quietly bury. In 1670, a philosopher named Baruch Spinoza asked one question. If these laws came from a perfect God, why do they read exactly like laws written by men trying to control women? That question cost him everything. He was exiled, cursed, erased from his own community. He died alone at 44, not because he lied, but because he read the text honestly. And when you do the same thing today, something disturbing appears. A pattern. 7 laws, all pointing to one thing: control. One law says if a man assaults an unmarried woman, he must pay her father and marry her. She has no say, no choice, no escape. Another law allows soldiers to take women from conquered cities, strip them of identity, and force them into marriage after a period of mourning. Another permits fathers to sell their daughters, explicitly into servitude tied to sexual access. Another creates a ritual where a woman accused of infidelity must drink a cursed mixture to prove her innocence, while men face no such test. Another declares that giving birth to a daughter makes a woman unclean, twice as long as giving birth to a son. Another commands women to remain silent and submissive, banned from teaching or holding authority over men. And another demands wives submit to their husbands in everything. No conditions, no exceptions. Different books, different authors, same pattern. Every law centers male authority. Every law limits female autonomy. Every law assumes women exist under control. So the question becomes unavoidable. Does this sound like the voice of a perfect, all-loving God? Or does it sound exactly like what you'd expect from ancient patriarchal societies trying to maintain power? Because here's what makes this uncomfortable. These aren't hidden verses. They've just been avoided, softened, or explained away, skipped in sermons, buried in context, wrapped in theology so dense you never stop to ask what they actually say. And maybe you already felt it. That moment reading something that didn't sit right, that quiet discomfort you were told to ignore, that voice in your head saying, this can't be moral. That wasn't weakness, that was clarity. Baruch Spinoza saw that clarity 350 years ago, and they tried to silence him for it. Because once you start reading these texts as human documents instead of unquestionable commands, everything changes. You stop defending what clearly causes harm. You stop calling cruelty holy. You stop confusing obedience with morality, and you start asking better questions. If a law causes suffering, is it divine? If a rule strips dignity, is it sacred? If a system benefits one group while silencing another, who really wrote it? That's the shift. And once it happens, you can't go back. You'll hear sermons differently. You'll read scripture differently. You'll notice what's said and what's carefully avoided. So now I want to hear from you. Comment where you're watching from, and tell me what part made you stop and think. Because this conversation has been happening quietly for a long time, in whispers, in doubts, in private questions. But it doesn't have to stay quiet anymore. And if you're ready for more content like this, subscribe, because there are more verses, more patterns, more questions most people were never allowed to ask. And once you start asking them, you don't stop.